Hello, I am here to do my check-in for week 3 of the Ting 2022 Weight Loss Challenge round 2. This is my second go around with it and going strong, really feeling good, feeling so amazing. I did want to follow up on my last video for week 2. I said I'd let you all know if I had any change in my waist measurement. When I did check on that, which was a couple days later after I did that video. And just like the first time I did this, it maintained, it stayed the same. I didn't have any reduction in my waist. But that being said, I am seeing the differences in my body, in other areas. And mainly, I'm just feeling really good. So that's sort of my main focus. That's my MO, you know that. And for me, it's really about just being fit and feeling my best. And, um, you know, I am focused on the waist in particular. I do want to get my waist to a really healthy measurement, but um, I'm I'm getting there, and my body is going at its own pace with that, and so it's okay. I do know that in week 2, I kind of went back to my old habits. I had some of those really late nights. I really struggle with getting to bed earlier. It's kind of my Achilles heel. It's the thing that's the biggest challenge for me. I am just a night owl, and I get all my energy at night with the kind of work that I'm doing now, with readings, and with what I'm developing with Broad Coven. I realize that I'm really moving into the zone of kind of being a late night reader. That's when I get most of my downloads. And so I just really come alive at night, and I have so much energy. My schedule is really flip flopped, and it's been this way for a while, quite a long time. I was thinking about it the other day. When did this, habit first developed? And it really started back in 2009, when I was going through the the dissolving of my marriage. My marriage was falling apart, and things were starting to come to an end between us. And I don't know, it's just very strange. I just stayed up really late for some reason. I don't know, maybe it had something to do with I didn't want to go to bed with him. He would get up early for work, so I would, just kind of like stayed up all night. And I was emotionally processing my stuff too, but I think back at that time it was sort of about creating a sense of separation from my then husband that I was splitting from, and wanting to create that actual distance and sort of have some space of my own, even though, at that point we were still living together. Um, but it's funny, it just, after that, it never bounced back. And there's been times that I've tried to kind of like get it dialed in and get back to what used to be my more reasonable schedule, which in the past I used to go to bed at like, you know, midnight, 1 in the morning. That's kind of been common for me throughout my life. Sometimes two, if I was really pushing it. Like I said, I've always been a night owl. Even when I was a little girl, I was a night owl, okay? This is my natural circadian rhythm. But since, the end of 2009, I've really been stuck in this pattern where, I'll be up till 3, 4 in the morning. And every now and then I go through cycles where I taper it back a bit, but it always reverts back in this direction again. And I'm not sure what's going on with that or how to correct it or if I even should be concerned about it. I don't know. Oh, but I do feel like that week that, I worked on that, like trying to get to bed earlier. I do feel like I felt a little bit more rested when I woke up. And it did seem to support me with stress. And I did see a really positive result with the waist measurement, so we are making that correlation that there's something going on in terms of the hormonal balance and the way stress, increases that cortisol. I do have a lot of stress too in my life. There's a lot that I'm holding. There's a lot that I'm balancing. There's a lot that I'm dealing with, and I am working very hard. So I still need to do some work around that. This is this is my forever challenge, okay? At least it's been a major challenge for me, for almost 13 years now. So I don't know, it's kind of a set pattern at this point. And I may just be like my dad. My dad is a musician, and forever, he's always been a real late night person. He would go out and play gigs, and if he wasn't playing a gig, then he was at band practice, and he wouldn't even roll in the door until like 3 or 4 in the morning, and then he'd stay up for a couple hours just winding down to himself. So he might go to bed at like 5 or 6 in the morning, and he'd sleep for 4 or 5 hours, get up, and just do it all over again. And it's interesting because I feel like that's kind of been my pattern recently, and in general, I feel like I do pretty good like that most of the time. But then it will hit a point where I feel really tired, and I'm like, okay, I need just a little bit more sleep, and then I'll treat myself to sleeping in, which I did today. I did allow myself to really just like sink in and sleep in today and have a real lazy start to my day. It was active rest day for the third week. I have 2 more workouts to do for this third week, and then I'm entering in that last week already of the second round. So I'm super excited. The workouts that came in for this week didn't include weights or resistance bands, so I'm still waiting for that to be introduced. It's possible they might come in with these last 2 workouts, so we'll see. I might end up getting those in if I do get the weights in this week, and get that added resistance in. I'll let you all know about that when I check in for week 4 next week. But yeah, just moving right along. What I'm really excited about right now is my other work as an Ayurvedic practitioner. I have an online course that is active right now. It's in its live mode because it's spring season, so it's kapha season. And we're doing a kapha reset, which is like a whole mind, body, spirit cleanse, sweeping out all the cobwebs from the winter season, lightening up, energizing, renewing, you know, coming into the nurturing of self care. And next week is our week cleanse. And so it's kind of funny the way things synced up with this second round of the challenge, that the toughest week of Chloe Ting's challenge, the 4th week, where you work out 6 days in a row without an active rest day, is coming up and coinciding with the week that I'm going to be doing this kapha cleanse. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of result I get with that. Like, what happens when I pair the Ayurvedic Panchakarma techniques with the Chloe Ting challenge. I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know. It might inform how I move forward with the challenges after this round of the challenge. Initially, I was going to do the summer shred challenge, which I think is just like a 2-week challenge. I'm pretty sure it's one of the shorter challenges. Instead, I decided, since Chloe released a new one and since I already am moving more towards increasing resistance now and adding the weights, I'm going to do her new challenge that she just put out, which is the Get Tone challenge. So I'm ready to put on some muscle. I think that would be really good right now for where I'm at. I have moved a lot of fat. I have gotten my metabolism revved up, and I've definitely improved my fitness, my cardiovascular functioning. And so I feel like this is like the next natural piece, is really to build that metabolically active tissue, really build the muscle. So it just raises my resting metabolism, and that will really support me moving forward and releasing whatever other weight wants to come off of my body, and just feeling my best, so, and also having that structural support, as you get older, there's things you have to worry about that you don't think about as much when you're younger, like, your joint health, and how your hips are feeling. I know so many people my age that have already gone in and had hip replacement surgeries or knee surgeries, like all kinds of stuff. And I haven't. And I really, I want to avoid that, I want to avoid that. So, very important to me to do the structural work, because I did completely rehab a knee injury, also an ankle injury, and I pretty much have those rehab now. There's a little, still a little bit of a sticking point on the left knee, but it's almost there. I would say it's probably like 98%. And it's very mild. So the workouts have really been helping me. And it's kind of surprising to me because they're so lunge heavy, right? They're so lunge heavy. And lunges used to be something that was really difficult for me, just in terms of where my knee was at. It was really hard for me to do. But now I breeze through it and it's fine. So I think adding that weight is going to be so good for me. And it's just going to continue that strengthening and be so supportive for me moving forward. So I'm going to do the Get Tone challenge. And I believe that that's another 28-day challenge. And then after that, I'll do the summer shred. And that will actually put me right at the start of summer. So it's kind of, it's funny the way it's like it's all working out. I feel like I'm very much in flow with it, just with this last week of the Chloe Ting challenge that I'm currently on, coming up, is going to be coinciding with that cleanse that I'm going to be doing with the Kapha Reset group through Cobra's Medicine Bag. And then, I'll have my week of active rest to sort of integrate my cleanse and to integrate the second round of the Chloe Ting challenge. And then I'm going to dive into the Get Tone challenge. And I don't know, depending on how it goes, I might just put myself through a self-care panchakarma coinciding with the Get Tone challenge. I mean, why not? I don't know what the experience is going to be like for me. I'm curious to see, but I have a feeling it could be really transformational. I don't know how many of you know what panchakarma is, but panchakarma is done for detoxification and kind of, just resetting the balance in the body at the seasons, the change of the seasons, primarily in the spring and in the fall at the equinoxes. So that's what I'm currently, diving into right now. We recently entered spring. But there's a way that you can employ the techniques used in panchakarma year round, minus the cleanse. You don't want to cleanse more than twice a year, really. But there's all kinds of self-care measures that come in to, get the lymph flowing and, to just tend to the body's systems, and keep them running optimally through all the seasons. So I think it could be really cool pairing that with this sort of intense training focus. It's a little bit of what we call in Ayurveda straightening by fire, which is, bringing in that discipline and that focus that can really create powerful transformation in your life. And it's funny because I had something come up in my Facebook memories where I was talking a couple of years ago about the way I used to work at the Ayurvedic Healing Center I used to work at the Dhyana Center before it closed due to everything that happened over the past couple of years. A lot of businesses were affected by the orders that were put in place, where people had to, work from home and stuff. It pretty much completely wiped out, my Ayurvedic work, except for the consultations I could do online, but all the body work and that hands-on in person, it kind of got sidelined. I am looking to go back to, doing in-person panchakarmas now that things are lightening up. I'm thinking at fall, I'm trying to line something up, figure out, where I want to do that too. I'm looking at California, but I am open to, anywhere in the country. So I'm starting to explore that again. But, these methods are really powerful. And it was interesting because when I was working at the Ayurvedic Center, I went through a point where I really wanted to be able to travel here to Detroit and to spend, some quality time here in Detroit. I ended up living here. But at the time, that wasn't my plan. And in order to facilitate that, I knew that I had to earn a certain amount of money to make it feasibly possible to maintain my life in California, and also to be able to afford to travel and have an extended stay. So I kind of, put my feet to the fire at this Ayurvedic Healing Center I worked at. And I went in one day and I said, hey, sign me up on the schedule for the next 40 days. I'm going to work every single day. I'm not going to take any days off. And I'll work overtime if there's somebody coming in that needs body work, they need treatment, I'm available, I'll do it. I won't turn anyone away. And I really dived into it with this spirit of I'm very focused on that, and I'm going to practice gratitude with this, because every client that comes in the door, they're going to be supporting me and being able to go and take this extended trip. And, I thought, oh, how am I going to do this? Because my job was so physical, right? I mean, I do deep tissue body work. I do restructuring body work. I do transformational body work. I don't do club rubs, okay? It's not like this light, foofy, spa massage. I've worked in a physical therapy capacity. I've been a body worker for about 28 years. So really demanding work. And I was very busy with clients when I was at the Dhyana Center. And I wasn't sure like how my body would hold up through that, or how I would feel emotionally, mentally, would I burn out? And I ended up having just this phenomenal experience with it, where when I realized if I put my focus in the right place, and I had the gratitude that I was able to do this work, and that this work was facilitating, what I was looking to create for myself in my life. And I could feel that appreciation, for my clients, and feel appreciation for my body being able to show up in that way, and also to appreciate my body by getting just so solid with my self-care. I was really solid with my self-care. Like I gave myself, relaxing baths on the regular. I did abhyanga, self-massage, I did gua sha. Like I really took care of my body, and I exercised while I did all that. I would hit the gym, I go spend some time in the infrared, go spend some time in the sauna. I mean, I was very focused though, and I had everything very dialed in. And what I realized was, wow, this is so transformational. It transformed my entire life, and it transformed my entire practice and the way I view things and the way I do things and the way I move forward in the world. And so I kind of started living what I called panchakarma life, where I just decided to keep working like that. So I would go and I would work these, intense 40-day stints. I'd really dive in. I'd work really hard. I'd have a focus on, what I was working to transform in that cycle, so it's like my work became this sadhana. It became like a practice. Um, and it was just such an amazing experience for me. It was amazing what I was able to accomplish, but also my health. Like my health just kept improving. And it's interesting because I kind of lost some track of that a little bit over, these past couple of years, as a lot of people got, uprooted from their usual practices and their usual lifestyle. We've all kind of been through it for the past couple of years, right? It's been a big adjustment period, and I've lost touch with some of those practices, and I'm still good with my self-care. I walk my talk as an Ayurvedic practitioner, but on that level, like where I was at, where I was doing these regular 40-day panchakarmas, where I had my work goals and I was diving into my work and I was focused with the work at hand, and also really focused, very solidly on my self-care. That slipped a little bit. So I kind of feel like this whole experience with the Chloe Ting challenge, one of the things that's been so beneficial for me is that it reignited that place of like that intense focus and still having that gratitude piece, right? That was so important with my work. But the gratitude piece with doing the Chloe Ting challenge has been like, wow, my body can do this. Like I get to do this, and how grateful I am that knowing where I'd been, in this place where I was constantly having these neurological flare ups that were very scary for me, that felt very destabilizing, and super disconcerting at this stage in my life as I'm getting older, wanting to continue to be independent as I grow older, not wanting to envision myself years and years and years down the road in like a convalescent hospital. Like I don't want to age like that, um, and to be able to get in there and just sort of greet the challenge where I was at, instead of trying to be perfect with it, instead of pushing myself beyond my means, and watching just with that focus and that drive, and also, compassion for myself and understanding, okay, this is where you're at, but that's okay. You can do it where you're at, and you're going to grow in this process, and witnessing the growth and letting that be what excites me, and also just feeling so much gratitude for that. Like, wow, my body is healing. Like these injuries are healing. My self-esteem is increasing. I feel so much better. Like my whole mood is so much more positive, and you know I'm always a very optimistic person. It's just who I am by nature, all right? I am a Sagittarius moon, so we are the eternal optimists, okay? And I've always been like that. I tend to look on the bright side. I don't want to look at, um, you know, all the problems. I prefer to focus on the solution. That's just the way my brain is hardwired, and it sort of comes from being a person who's had to face a lot of challenges in life. I've been through a lot of difficulty, and I know all about trauma healing, and I know about extreme hardship, and I'm not going to go into all that in this video, but I have not had an easy life. I've definitely come from the school of hard knocks. But instead of focusing on that and everything that's been a challenge in my life and everything that's been a difficulty and everything that's gone wrong, or every way I've always been disappointed, or you name it, I really try to focus on where I do have power And I know where I do have power is in my ability to make choices that are aligned with my highest vision for myself and my life. And that's a big part of what this challenge is about for me. It's really about taking back the power in my life and really taking care of my body and understanding that if I hope to live a long, fulfilling life where I can have that independence, where I don't have to worry about somebody caretaking for me when I'm elderly, you know, because I did the foundational work, because I took accountability, because I took responsibility, because I showed up and I did what I needed to do. You know, I feel like that's a really good place to direct my energy, and doing that has felt very empowering. And also just showing up, showing up, yes, even though it's hard, and even though it has pushed me to my edge at times, and at times, just like all these videos you see out there, I have looked at the screen and been like, Chloe, are you nuts? You're only gonna give us a 5-second rest here, for real? Okay, okay. No rest? Okay. All right. But really, it's been okay. It's been okay, and I'm stuck with it. And it's shown me so much about what I'm really capable of when I put my whole focus on it, when my mind, my heart, and my body are aligned. It's like magic happens. So I feel like it's really inspiring me, and it's getting me remotivated, and remotivated even in terms of my work, and how I'm going to move forward with that. So, yeah, just so much change happening. And that's what happens when you start moving your body, right? Everything starts moving. It's all interconnected, mind, body, spirit. So, I continue to have nothing but positive things to say about this challenge and Chloe Ting's offerings. And I'm very, very grateful for her. And I'm so glad that, I took the leap, and that I was willing to try it, and do something that was outside of my comfort zone. So I'm really excited to be in the process right now of closing the 3rd week and getting ready to head into the last week of my 2nd round of the weight loss challenge. And then I'm going to enjoy a wonderful, week off, for active rest, and integrate my cleanse experience with the Kapha reset and that final week of, the Chloe Ting challenge, and closing another challenge, and just have that celebratory moment to just integrate it all, set my sights for moving forward, drink it all in, and then I'll be jumping into another round with Chloe Ting. We're just going to keep this going until my 50th birthday, and I'm going to keep training with her. It's just something I'm going to do. I really enjoy her approach. I enjoy working out with her. I enjoy her positivity, and yeah, I don't see me stopping with this. I'll probably just keep on taking challenges for who knows how long. But yeah, it's really become a lifestyle for me, and it wouldn't feel right not to be doing it. So it's really cool to be in this place where, I will have gone 2 months strong. 2 months strong with Chloe Ting. Once this one is done, in just a week from now. So I've definitely formed a new habit, and it wouldn't feel right if I wasn't working out. So I'm pretty excited about that, and feeling really positive and upbeat about all the changes. And that's my check-in for week 3. I might do more than one check-in for the last week, for week 4. I don't know. It just depends. I am going to be going through like a panchakarma, a panchakarma like cleansing. So I might have stuff come up that I want to bring in. We'll see how it goes. But I for sure will see you guys next week for my final week check-in, and let you know how it went. And then there will be a follow-up video to just let you know my end result in terms of the measurements, and the total body inches that I was able to release with this second round of the weight loss challenge. All right. Have a good one. And thank you for checking in and following me along and sharing your thoughts. I appreciate all the support. It means a lot. Until next week.